Hey guys, what's up? It's Jordan here. So I buy a lot of tripods. I know it kind of sounds crazy. I've been looking for like the perfect one, and I think I might have found it with this. This is the Oben AT-3535. So let's go ahead and get into it. This right here was 99 bucks on bhphoto.com. Needed something that was a little bit more convenient to travel with, like, especially because I'm trying to really get into like doing real estate photography. I know that sounds crazy to some people, but I used the newer 2500 W, I think it is, the one that I've done a few reviews on and stuff. Way too big, especially trying to maneuver it in houses. I mean, it's pretty bulky, and it's more of like a video head tripod than it is kind of like a shooter's tripod. So just something to consider. This, my friends, is probably, I would say that this tripod right here probably will become my new favorite one just because it's so compact. So in my kind of findings, the minimum I could get this down to with the main tube that goes on here for the ball head, 12.5 inches. So that was with the legs locked out as far as they could go. Right now I have the low angle center column in here. A little tricky to put in, so I'll kind of give you guys a rundown on how to do that real quick too. But so with it like this, probably lower than 12 inches, but when I had just the regular main center stack in here, it was 12.5 inches was the minimum I could get it down to. So less than a foot high, and that's with the ball head on. Putting the ball head on here, I mean, obviously you can tell that this is pretty small, and if you're trying to do like low angle shots for, let's say, long exposures or something, kind of a nice feature, especially since this gets so small. And putting it into a bag, I would think that even if you had it folded up, you could probably easily stick this into just a regular backpack even. Now, the nice thing with this is it turns into a monopod. So there's a few things that you have to do, but basically you have to take everything apart. And then the one with the pad on it right here turns it into your monopod. Takes maybe a minute to break down into it. So something that I was not aware of, I've had this for such a short time that I really haven't had the opportunity to really play with it a whole bunch. I did take it onto a real estate shoot the other day, and it was so nice being able to use this tripod with the mount from my Weeble S that I was able to just swap it in and out. I mean, basically, whenever I went from shooting stills to shooting video, I didn't even bring this mount with me. I basically just kept the Weeble S mount, so this way I could go from this to the Weeble S and back to this if I ever needed to. Super convenient, super convenient. So keep that in mind. This worked very well. The base plate that's on here is really nice too. The little center locking tab, or the center locking mechanism that's on here, it feels machined really well, especially when you put it onto your camera. The little, I mean, just nuancy things. So the thread on here, it's got that little like looped handle on it. It stays in one position, like it doesn't fall over on you. So it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's super nice. I like it. So this also has two little bubble levels on it. I have a bubble level that goes onto my hot shoe mount, so I basically keep that on, especially when I'm shooting. These are nice, just quick reference guides, especially if you're just out in the, like shooting at a park or something, and you just kind of need to check your levelness. So it has a really smooth pan. I would say that you could probably use this ball head as a quick video head too, especially if you're shooting videos, if you needed like some smooth panning action for videos or something. So keep that into perspective. When you go to lock it, there's like little grooves that lock it into place. And if you don't hit those, it will kind of shift the ball head a little bit. I've noticed, at least. Maybe that's just my findings. All right. in the box, Oben sends you a nice little travel bag. I have a whole drawer full of travel bags that I don't even use. So you get that, you get a nice little strap that goes onto the bag, along with the center post here. All right, so to break this down, and this took me a minute to figure out because I had never had a small low angle tripod like this before. And I don't know, I've watched a couple other reviews and I haven't seen anybody do it. So you get a small center shaft like this to do low angles. Oben sends you a little toolkit, and so basically this will snap onto a leg, and this way you always have Allen keys with you. On the top base here, there's a small little Allen key spot. You just undo that, twist it out. That's your small little center cap. If you're doing low angles, if you need to go back to a regular size tripod, put that onto the main, and then same thing, lock it into place. Undo that a little bit, pop it back in. See, that's what I'm saying. If you can't find these, like if you don't get it just right, that ball head will spin on you with pressure. Something I've noticed, but I would think most generally, as long as you have it set up and you tighten it enough, it should be good to go. I don't see any reason why you'd be trying to, like, unless it fell, or if you bumped into it or something. Other than that, I think you should be pretty good to go. So like I said, this comes with like a little Allen key holder. Basically just snaps onto a leg and it's always there if you need it. The bottom here, your little centerpiece goes down in there, twist in and out. So it's got a counterweight, very nice, spring loaded, goes back into place. I will say that I've noticed the tabs that you use to lock the legs into place with, some of them seem a little loose. I don't know if you can tighten them. You probably can. I would think that you'd probably have to take the leg off first and then tighten some sort of a set screw that's in there. But so along with it being 12.5 inches, which is what I was talking about when I could get it fully down with the main column on here. So it was like something about like right there was about 12.5 inches, at least with just this main stack, the main column. The legs, easily grab it with one hand, twist them all out, put them back in, twist them all back together. It's such a nice feature. All right, so at most I could get this to 51 inches tall, 51 inches high, however you want to consider that. It's tall enough for me. I'm 6'2", 6'1.5", or 6'2", something like that. I don't keep track of it. Anyways, 51 inches I think is a perfect height. It got plenty tall enough for when I needed it. As long as you're tightening these, it's rock solid. I mean, for $100, I highly recommend anybody that needs a nice good travel tripod or a nice low angle tripod. I mean, this thing right here for $100. They have a carbon fiber one. I didn't want to spend an extra $30 something for the carbon fiber, although if you're that person that needs to save a little extra weight and needs a good tripod to take around with them, personally think that will probably serve you. But this right here is maybe about 2.5 pounds total, so it's not super heavy, but it does have a little bit of weight to it. The ball head itself is super smooth. I really haven't noticed too much in the way of it giving out. I shot some vertical video with it the other day when I first got it. It was super windy outside, held up like a champ. I didn't have any counterweight on there. I mean, I would say probably gusts of 15 to 20 miles an hour. It was right in the wind too, especially with my Canon EOS SL3 and a 50mm f1.4 lens on there. Shooting it like this, held rock solid, didn't move. I was very impressed by it. I'll definitely say that you have to tighten the locking nuts on them because, like I said, if you don't hit just right, the ball head will still spin. And there's basically like little catches that you just have to hit. Same with the ball head. All in all, I'll say that, I mean, for a tripod, they can get super low, probably, less than a foot high with the small low angle center column on it, or up to 51 inches, which I still think is pretty good. I mean, it's basically almost about 5 feet tall. My newer video head tripod, the one that I'm shooting on right now, I guess up to 61 inches, which is, to me, sometimes almost too tall. But I mean, I guess if you're trying to shoot over, let's say you're at like a national park or you're somewhere that people are standing in front of you and you need the extra height just to get over it, probably something to look into. I mean, that one was like $130. I did a little side-by-side comparison, so obviously I'm throwing a lot of B-roll into this, but for $100, I would definitely say if you need a good travel tripod, even something just to kind of like throw in the, throw it into the trunk or just throw it in the back seat and kind of forget about it. I think $100 isn't really a whole lot for if you mess it up or if it gets, I don't want to say it gets stolen, but if it ever comes to that point, I think $100 is probably pretty chokeable. I know Manfrottos, I mean, you can get those at like Best Buy and stuff. I kept eyeballing them, and the cheaper ones to me had a lot of like piss poor reviews, so I really didn't want to go Manfrotto and kind of be let down. But this one had a lot of really good reviews on it on B&H, and so I took a swing with it. I'm super pleased. I would say that this for $100 is a very well made tripod, especially for somebody that needs something small to travel with. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, also give it a thumbs up. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit all the buttons. I'm Jordan, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.